Hey, it is Lily, and in this video we'll be looking at my May 2024 currently inked pens and inks. I have 11 to show you, although there's only 10 here, but you'll see later on I added one more because 10 is not enough apparently. This first ink here is Van Diemen's Laughing Kookaburra Tail. It is a beautiful brown. There's some shading going on there as well, which you'll see a little bit more later when I write. But yeah, it's my first time using this. I have the small 30ml glass bottle. Look at the packaging. The kookaburras are very cute and totally Australian packaging going on right there, which I love because, you know, supporting Australian businesses. And yeah, it is in my Leonardo Memento Zero Grande in this kind of stacked resin thing going on here. It is a fine steel nib, and yeah, it's piston filling, so it does hold quite a bit of ink, but I think that's a great thing. It is on the larger side, hence I guess the Grande. I don't know how much smaller the normal version is because I've never had it. Yeah, this is my one and only Leonardo pen, which I really love. Bit girthy, but very, very nice. As you can see with my setup, I've decided to do like these different swatches compared to the other months. I'm hoping this will work out. We'll see how we go, but I've left some space there to do a bit of a grading of the pen and ink combo and a bit of space to write as well. So this ink is just black. It is Pilot Black, and this came with my Pilot Custom 823 Amber in the broad 14K nib. So I decided to ink this up. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I inked it up twice in April with Pelican 401 Brilliant Brown, as well as Robert Oster's, what was it? Cherry Blossom. Yeah, so this time I've got it in the Pilot Black that came with the bottle. And yeah, I am liking it so far. It is very saturated. In a broad nib, whoa, a lot of ink comes out. I really do think this would look better with a brown, just because I really do enjoy the whole matchy pen and ink thing. So after I use this black, I think I'll put another brown in it. Yeah. So next up, we've got Robert Oster Great Southern Ocean. This pretty much has no shading, kind of similar to the Pilot Black where it's just a flat color, but I don't mind it. I actually prefer inks that are flat. I have been appreciating like shading inks, but I still very much prefer like flat colors. This is in my new Sailor 1911, is it 1911? I don't know how to say it. The large one, gold demonstrator with a medium 21 karat gold nib. I purchased this pre-loved and I didn't film the unboxing because I was too excited, but I might do a video in the future. My first ever Sailor. I'm so excited. And yeah, it is so smooth. Look at the medium. I always thought that like you know, the pens by Japanese pen makers would be a lot thinner, but how juicy is that? It actually looks like a medium. And next up we have Pilot Blue Black, and this is a shading kind of color. Well, I think so anyway. And it has some sheen as well, like a bit of a purpley reddish sheen. You can't see it while it's wet, but you'll see in a little bit later when it dries down. But this is in my Lamy 2000 Macrolon Fine 14K nib. And this is one of the first pens I acquired because everyone talks about how awesome they are, and it kind of does live up to the hype, I think. It is beautiful in terms of, I think, the design. It's very simplistic, and I love the fact that it has a like an ink window as well, so that's always good. And next up, we have another blue, but a lighter blue. This is Robert Oster True Blue. This you would have seen in one of my ink haul swatches thing. And yeah, first time trying this out, it looks great. It really does look like Diamond, what's it called? Acid blue. Yeah, it really does look like that. And there's a bit of sheen, like pinky sheen to it. It's in my Nahavalur collaboration with Galen Leather in Midnight Blue. This is a broad steel nib, and yeah, it looks like a very juicy combo, which I look forward to using more of this month. So I think this new layout is good for swatches because you can see more of the ink. I am also using my Midori MD notebook, so there's the grids there, but also it doesn't have the issue I was having with the Lordstrom paper where I couldn't use the other side. For this one I think I can, so I look forward to seeing how that goes. Next up, we have my Van Diemen's Devil's Kitchen, and this was from an ink swap with T. Thank you so much if you're watching, T. I am so excited to use this. I actually used this today for work and I really enjoyed it. It's such a beautiful color. It's quite unique to my collection. I don't have anything like this. There's some sheen going on there as well, like pinky purple sheen. So it's beautiful, very saturated as well. This is in my Pens by Casey Blue Purple Resin Fine Steel Nib pen. And I love this pen. It's just a piece of artwork. And I've said before, I totally understand how, the handmade pens are such a thing. I've seen so many videos and I just, am ecstatic to have one in my collection. Well, two. We have the other one coming up soon. But yeah, very, very happy about that. Next up, we have this Robert Oster Romeo and Juliet. I used this combo, this ink and pen combo, last month and I gave it a C-. So we'll see how I go this month. It is in my Nahavalur Galen Leather collaboration with the rose gold trim and a broad steel nib. And as you can see there from the ink pools, it's very wet. It'll dry down a bit later and it's really quite unique. There's like purple, grey, teal, blue shading going on there. But yeah, it's quite a lovely colour and I've said this before, I do think it looks like Diamond's Celadon cat. Is that? Yeah, Celadon cat. I don't have that, but I think this is what it would look like, maybe with a bit less grey. If you have both, let me know if you think they're similar. Now as I'm looking at the dry down of the ink, there's a bit of pink there as well. So here's a writing sample. Let me know if you think you see any pink there, or maybe it's just me and it's like a purpley thing. But yeah, it has great shading and I think it's a perfect pairing with this pen. It's nice and flowy, but still really legible as well. And yeah, just a really pretty ink that took me by surprise. I didn't expect to actually like it as much because I was like, oh, what if I can't actually see? This is Pilot Arishizuku Murasaki Shikibu, a nice purple shade. I used this last month in my Midori pen and this month I'm putting it in my TWSBI Diamond 580 Rose Gold in the white in a medium steel nib. I accidentally write broad, but this is a medium. And yeah, this has quite a lot of shading in the fine nib, but for some reason in a medium nib there is no shading at all, which is very strange. Has that happened to you before? I thought it would be the opposite, like the finer nib would make it like more concentrated, whereas it would be like different in a wider nib. I don't know. But I'm not complaining. I really do like that it's very legible, so I appreciate that and I look forward to using this pen more. Next up, we have Organics Studio Rogalian, and this is a bright red with a little bit of sheen, I guess, but the sheen's just red. Maybe it's glossy. And this is in my other Pens by Casey pen in the red and purple fine steel nib, and it's a beautiful writer. Unfortunately, last month I wasn't able to write with it because I think there was something wrong with the ink converter and the ink just spilled everywhere. So this month I was like, okay, I have to ink it up again. I want to use this pen, and I thought, I like the whole matchy thing. Let's put a red in. So we've got the pen here. It is beautiful. I'm very happy to have it in my collection. And I say collection, but I use all my pens. And next up we have Robert Oster $10 Gold. I have some writing samples coming up soon. This is in my Benu Broliet Snow Season in the broad steel nib. It's my one and only Benu. I purchased this on the secondhand market and I was so excited. I've seen and heard so much about Benu pens. They just look really cool, right? Like lots of glitter and lots of glam, and I was so happy to get my hands on this. This combo I actually really like. I inked it twice in January this year and gave it a bit of a break, but now in May we've got it inked back up. And yeah, there's beautiful shading. It's very legible. The pen is really juicy. Yeah, like super juicy. And I've watched a couple other YouTubers like Simone, her talking about juicy pens, JP Pen and Inks talking about Benu juicy inks, Benu juicy nibs. But yeah, they're very juicy. This one is in my Lotstrom book. So you can see there I dated it January, and this one is in my Midori MD paper. So they look very similar, I think. There's not much of a difference there in terms of color, not really. But yeah, it's a beautiful color. I think this is browny yellow. I don't know, what would you call it? Is it brown? Is it yellow? Is it mustard? So here we've got an overview of the pens and inks. I do have one more coming up which I'll show you in a bit, but just wanted to give you a bit of an overview with the pens and inks here on the dry down. Oh look, the Robert Oster Great Southern Ocean actually has a bit of sheen there. It's like reddy sheen. Yeah, I missed that. So yeah, they are beautiful. I'm already using these pens, of course, because it's May and I inked it up in preparation. But yeah, at the end you can see I put fave pen, fave ink. So my plan is to write my favorite pen of the month and also my favorite ink of the month when I do the review later on. Yeah, so we'll see which one. I think it'll be hard to pick just one pen and one ink that I like, but I guess sometimes you just gotta play favorites. And so I added an extra pen and ink combo here. I purchased this recently, secondhand as well. My first platinum pen, and again, super excited. It is the Platinum 3776 Century, and it's the Oshino. Yeah, in the broad 14K nib. It came with the cartridge and it's the platinum blue. I think it's just called blue probably. You'll see later on after this I actually draw up another page because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be inking more pens this month. I'm doing this pen and ink like no justice, just putting it in the corner here. So yeah, I decided I'd add an extra page. We've got 5 more there, so I'm filling it up with this pen, and then I've got space for 4 more pens to add later this month. So we'll see what I add. I'll do the review at the end of the month or the beginning of next month, and I'll show you then which pens and inks I add up. But yeah, this is a pretty juicy pen. I do find that there's a lot of feedback, and also like the broad nib, it's got a bit of a, like, I don't know, like a squarish feel to it, like it's not round. So I'm not sure if you can see when I'm writing, there's more of that square thing going on. But yeah, I do like it, and I used it today actually, and I really enjoyed it. This here is Memo 100 GSM paper. I'm doing this little extra thing here just to include this platinum pen, and I included this with my letter back for my ink swap with T. So yeah, just did some swatches to show her, and that's it for this video. I will see you in my next video, but let me know which pen and ink combos you enjoyed from mine. Also, do you have a theme going on for what you're inking up this month? I don't really have a theme, I just ink what I feel like. Are you like that as well, or do you plan things out? But yeah, I'll leave you with this overview of the 10 pens I initially had, but I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!